Absolutely. Well, kind of going way back. So I had a high school class where we read and discussed philosophy, Plato, Nietzsche, Buber, and I loved it. For me, it was kind of like going from one of those films, you go from black and white to color. Everything came alive. And I'd been a straight A student and so forth, but it was boring. And so then I heard about St. John's College, campuses in Annapolis and Santa Fe, 4 years of Socratic discussions on classic texts. So I was going to drop out of high school my junior year and go there. But I ended up staying my senior year. I only had 2 credits remaining. I was working in a restaurant 20 hours a week and lived in Aspen skiing. But I had good test scores. My college counselor said, look, you can go to Harvard and get the same thing at St. John's. And so I ended up applying, got into Harvard, went there, and was bored by famous people talking at me. So I left
Mm,
Harvard to go to St. John's. I describe it as after my wife, the great love of my life. And after graduation, I began working. I went to graduate school in Chicago, at the University of Chicago. I started leading Socratic seminars in inner city public schools. And there again, I felt like I was liberating prisoners. The kids were so eager to talk and discuss ideas. That led to training teachers in the Alaska Paideia Project, it was called. And then after we ran out of grant money, some parents asked me to start a school because they loved it so much. So
mm.
that's basically how I got into a 35-year career of starting innovative schools based on Socratic dialogue. And then most recently, I created the Montessori model for the high school model for the largest Montessori network in the US. And when COVID hit, everybody was talking about how bad online education was. Turns out dialogue works pretty well online. You know, you and I
It
can have
works
a
great.
dialogue. Um, so I launched the Socratic Experience in fall of 2020 with 3 students on my credit cards. Now we have about 120 students from around the world, raised about 2 million in capital, and we're on target to double every year. So it's been a great ride.
Yeah, that's exciting. Well, it's it is an extraordinary story, and I think an extraordinary lesson